My name is Awobamise Ayodeji, and I am a PhD student of Communications and Media Management in Guinea American University here in North Cyprus. I shall be discussing a paper titled The Role of Social Networking in the Formation of Government Policies in Nigeria. This paper aims to look at the role social media plays or played in shaping government policies and influencing such policies in developing countries, with particular reference to Nigeria. Nigeria as a nation has been mostly ruled by the military for most part of the last 53 years, and as such, the government has been in firm control of the media. In 1992, the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission was established, and its first act was to decentralize or decontrol of the media, thereby breaking government monopoly of the media. Today in Nigeria, there are over 100 privately owned media houses in Nigeria, but a large chunk of these houses or media houses are owned or managed by friends of those in power, and as such, we cannot truly categorize them as free presses. With the emergence of the internet in Nigeria and later the popularization of BlackBerry in the early 2000s, Nigerians suddenly had access to news from all over the world. So it came as no surprise that people in the country started demanding for accountability from the leaders and reporting government excesses on numerous blogs and websites. In fact, it was access to popular services like Twitter, BlackBerry services, Facebook, YouTube, amongst others, that would set the stage for some of the most popular uprisings against government policies and other social injustices in Nigeria. Due to time and space constraints, this paper shall consider just two events that rocked Nigeria in the last 3 years and how social media played a role in facilitating the protest and influencing government decisions. The main objective of this paper is to identify the roles of social media, its importance, and how they influence government decisions during the events under review. It is the hope of the researcher that at the end of this paper, the question of whether or not social media has any influence on government decisions will have been properly answered. The methodology. This research is a summary of relevant conclusions from different journals and newspaper articles on the subject. The research shall look at two issues that have ravaged Nigeria in recent times, namely the 2011 general elections and the Alufo killings. These cases were chosen based on their media popularity and the fact that the whole nation was affected in some way by the situation. I examined relevant literatures, news articles, press releases, and other media that cover the events stated above. Also, some sort of content analysis was conducted. The analysis was based on the comment sections of YouTube videos for the Alufo killings and the 2011 elections. Twitter and Facebook entries were analyzed. The responses of the public to these issues were collated and critically analyzed. By doing so, I hope to have answered the following questions. 1. Did the suggestions of the people on social networks and blogs correlate with the final decision of the government or the party concerned? 2. Can social networking be used as a tool for social change? Let me give a brief background of the Alufo killings. The Alufo killings is perhaps one of the most shocking mob action or mob justice or jungle justice that has ever happened in Nigeria. And why it is categorized as one of the most shocking is the fact that it was caught on video, and there were some police officers on site, and they did nothing to stop the murder of these students. On October 5, 2012, 4 university students of the University of Port Harcourt in Nigeria were on suspicion of armed robbery, savagely beaten and set ablaze, and it was all caught on camera. This led to a lot of media outcry and online protests that forced the government to take action against the perpetrators of these heinous acts. For more details on the issue, it's in the paper. How did these situations, or how did social media influence government policies in these situations? In the case of the general elections of 2011, it is very clear that social media changed the landscape of Nigeria's electoral process and balloting. The government was forced to set up a committee and an independent observer to monitor the use of social media during the electoral process. Several bodies such as the Reclaim Nigerian Group, the Enough is Enough, came up and provided a platform for people to send in observations and report any incident during the electoral process. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, experienced over 25 million hits on its website in just 3 days during the presidential elections. The chairman of the commission, Professor Jega, noted that the internet and particularly social media has made the electoral process more transparent and provided documentation on the electoral proceedings in the country, which would help future elections. Also based on the findings of a coalition of different interest groups that formed the Social Media Tracking Center, a report was submitted to INEC and other stakeholders on how they can further make use of social media to foster more transparent elections in the future. These recommendations, if followed and implemented, would further improve Nigeria's electoral process and encourage citizen participation. The Alufo killings, the Nigerian police force initially insisted that since it was a mob action, there was simply no way of knowing who the perpetrators were and arrest them. They insisted that it was impossible for the police to track down the killers, as it would amount to raiding a whole community. This, however, did not stop the protests going on social networking sites and BlackBerry. People started extracting images from the YouTube videos and were calling on the police force to arrest the people clearly visible in the video. These pictures became viral on the internet and BlackBerry services. By making these pictures viral, the public further proved the police wrong and showed them how to at least identify some of the perpetrators by watching the video and picking out their faces one at a time. This eventually led to the arrest of 13 Alu community people, including the traditional ruler. The case is currently still in court. The Alu case is a prime example of where social media has helped ensure justice was carried out. The images going viral online and call for justice put the government in a situation where it had to act or be seen as irresponsible and insensitive. Since the Alufo incident, the police force has been making efforts to ensure the incidences of drug justice in the country is reduced and has promised to arrest and prosecute anyone involved in such acts. What is the role of the social media? From the foregoing, it is clear that social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and BlackBerry messengers played a significant role in bringing the attention of the government to problems stated above and instigated mass protests in some cases. Here is an highlight of some of the roles social media played. 1. Social media helped in documenting some of the activities such as saying the 2011 general elections and all major activities in the country since that time. The Alufo killings, the first subsidy protests were well documented on YouTube, blogs, and other websites that will make it possible for future generations to access them. 2. Coordinating activities. This was clearly seen during the first subsidy removal protest. The 2011 elections at the change of name or reversal of Lagos. Social media were employed to organize the protests, from mobilizing individuals to mapping out venues for protests and organizing rallies. Facebook, BBM, and Twitter helped a lot in making all this possible, creating a more objective avenue for people to air their opinions that would otherwise have not been aired at all. Social networking sites created a forum or platform for people to vent and make their voices heard. 4. Create an avenue for masses to talk to the government. Social media have created a way for people to talk to the government directly, as most political office holders, including the president, has a Facebook page. This was previously not possible, as the best people could do was relate their problems through organized labor groups. 5. Create an avenue for government to check the pulse of the people before making certain decisions. This can also be seen from the first subsidy removal protest, and one of the major reasons people were offended was that the government did not inform them beforehand before such an important decision was made. 6. Create an alternative or an alternate medium for people to source for news and information. In conclusion, the internet and social networks have opened up opportunities for Nigerians and changed our political landscape forever. It has given Nigerians a voice to air their grievances and to make their stance known. As far as election and other social policies go, it is clear that Nigerians would no longer be spoon-fed on true information, as they now have the power to source for news when and how they like. The social network and internet have given Nigerians and the world in general an avenue to meet and discuss life-changing or strengthening issues and provide solutions to them. The internet shall forever play a role in Nigeria's electoral process and in all government policies, as the internet would only get better and more accessible to Nigerians if current trend is taken seriously. Thank you very much for listening. God bless.